Legendary photographer Jürgen Schadeberg was a pioneer of South African photojournalism during the anti-apartheid struggle. Now Stephan Welz and Co. is hosting a photography exhibition from the 19th to the 21st of September by the father of South African photography himself. Anton Welz is the division head of Stephan Welz and Co. and he joins us from our Sea Point studio to tell us more about the exhibition. A very good morning to you, Jürgen. Anton, excuse me. Jürgen played such a huge role within the South African media landscape in capturing just the essence of what was happening in the past. Could you give a summary to some of our viewers who've maybe never heard of his name and don't know about his great works, exactly what it is that he contributed into making South Africa, the media side of South Africa, what it has become?
Yeah, an interesting thing. I think Schadeberg arrived here in 1951 as a young man. I think he was born in 1931. He arrived in 1950 or 51, and he arrived to find two societies living almost in a parallel universe. So he got a job at Drum magazine, and he became chief photographer at Drum, and he began to record what he saw. So he turned photojournalism, in a sense, into what we now can regard almost as art, but he recorded life in South Africa in the 50s and on two different levels. So he photographed Mandela and the treason trialists from 1958 onward, and he also photographed the burial of the victims of the Sharpeville massacre. He did Miriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela. So it was life in Sophiatown prior to the forced removals. He recorded and documented the history of South Africa in the 50s, and I think those are the photographs for which he's most well known.
Now, it would seem to me as if he felt compelled to tell the South African story through the lens. To him, this was more than just a job. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would, because I think he arrived with a different mindset. You know, he came as a continental, leaving post-war Germany. So he'd experienced Germany during the war, and he arrived in South Africa and saw a very different environment.
All right, now, this is the first exhibition and sale of his work. What made you decide to have this exhibition?
It's really prompted by the release of his autobiography, which is being launched at the same time. So it's the launch of his autobiography alongside an exhibition of his work, and probably his most important work, or certainly his most memorable work, which are the images taken in the 50s.
Now, earlier you spoke about some of the iconic photos that he captured in Sophiatown of Nelson Mandela and all other areas of South Africa and what was happening at the time. Which would you say resonate with you more, or which would you say people, or rather will resonate with people who come through and see the exhibition?
There are probably two images, or perhaps three images. There's probably Nelson Mandela in the law office, which is the only image, as far as I'm aware, of Nelson Mandela in the law office. And if you look in the reflection of the window, it says Mandela and Tambo, who were partners in the law firm at the time. So that's one, I think, really well-known image of his. Obviously, Mandela on the steps of the treason trial in 1958, and then he came back in '94 and did the Robben Island Revisited series. And I think that the image that came up on the screen a moment ago of Mandela staring through the bars in his cell in Robben Island is possibly his most well-known image.
Wow, Anton, quickly take us through the memoir, As I See It.
Well, he's been awarded the Institute of Photography's Lifetime Achievement Award and a doctorate from the University of Valencia. So he's been recognized internationally for his efforts in photography, and this is 86 years of memories. I'm sure his wife Claudia has been a great help to him in compiling the memoir, but it's going to be a fascinating read.
Now, Anton, the event marks the first occasion in South Africa that Schadeberg has exhibited limited edition silver-signed handmade prints. That's something quite significant. It's quite a big deal.
It is, particularly seeing as he did the printing himself, and they done not by another printer, but done by Schadeberg himself. Each image is signed. I think there are one or two images There are a very limited number of images signed by Schadeberg and Mandela himself, and I think one of those images is going to be on the exhibition. So it's going to be something worth seeing.
Now, Anton, assuming you've spoken to Schadeberg, could you just share some of his thoughts around this exhibition and what his feelings are?
I've been in communication with his wife, not so much Jürgen, okay. But they're very happy to be here. In fact, I'm probably going to be reading a speech by Jürgen on Tuesday evening at the opening. I think they're quite excited about the possibility of exhibiting some work in South Africa for some. They haven't exhibited for a very long time, if at all. So it's going to be a momentous event from that point of view. In that it's going to give people a chance to see images that were taken from, well, the last 50 years of South African history, really.
All right, and for people who are interested in coming to see the exhibition, how can they go about doing that and finding out more information?
Killarney Country Club in 8th Street, beg your pardon, in 5th Street in Houghton. Opens on Tuesday evening. Only on show for a few days, unfortunately. Only up until I think Thursday this week. So you're going to have to charge it and get and quickly come and have a look. But I'm not sure how many images, probably 40 or 50 photographs. Opening Tuesday night, on show Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And we will also be offering 1 or 2 images of Schadeberg's on our next auction in Cape Town on the 10th of October.
All right, fantastic. Anton Welz, thank you so much for your time this morning. Now, the exhibition, just to repeat what he said, in case you missed it, will be held at Stephan Welz & Co.'s new Johannesburg premises. That's at the Killarney Country Club on 65th Street, Houghton Estate. It opens at 6 p.m. on September the 19th and ends on September the 21st. Now, the opening hours are from 10 to 5 p.m.